And as we did banking for ourselves and we freed up that cash flow that used to go to other people, it meant that we had more to be able to direct towards this system. And when we maxed out that first system, we did what banks do, right? You notice this. Look in your town, like I can in my town. There are multiple branches. They're all over the place. So if you can open up a successful business, that's a good way of looking at a policy, good way of looking at your private banking system as a business. Then you're going to open up another branch. So over the past several years now, we would open up another one and another one as it made sense. So hopefully that's helpful. Yeah, the idea over your lifetime is to create a system of policies. Okay, and you were answering a comment. Awesome. Appreciate you jumping in on the comments with us. Love that. Love the conversation. Any other questions about how to privatize your banking? Why to privatize your banking? Maybe who to do it with. We have some suggestions. We know some good educators out there.
Hey-oh, it might be us. Okay. Let me know if you can hear me out there on YouTube. I found it. I fixed at least your channel. I don't know if I also fixed mine. Let me know, Jake. Let me know, Sean. Appreciate you. Okay, Texas County boy or country boy, welcome back because you've been here before. Yes or yes? Let us know if it's your first time here. Put a 1 in the chat and put a 2 in the chat if you are back for the 2nd, 3rd, or 80th time. Okay, the Rockefeller waterfall method. That is correct. We're going to utilize whole life insurance to pass down our money from our family generation to generation while being able to utilize it throughout our own lifetime. Okay, you got it.
I think we got audio now.
Do we? Can you guys hear me as well?
Yeah, we're getting a request for repeating.
Okay, hey, repeating. My name is Jay Do. Welcome to the show. Okay, don't you worry. Stick with us. Stick with us out there.
Yeah, just
okay.
hang around.
Okay, Brian says, can you name some companies that have whole life insurance? Tons of them do. You can go to lots of websites to do it, but you are not looking for whole life insurance. You're looking for a specially designed whole life insurance policy from a certain type of company. Put type in the chat, TYPE, type, and we will walk through it if you want to know some of those details.
Which I would say really means you're looking for somebody, like we were just talking about, that's actually done it already themselves. Who could help you, who could build that system for you.
I pity the fool who tries to do it all by themselves.
Right.
Number one is there's always an agent between you and a life insurance contract. We've got one here, an illustration of a life insurance contract from a great company, but there's always a Jake in the State Farm commercials. There's always a Flo in the Progressive commercials. And the Allstate commercials has the guy with the Band-Aids all over his face.
Yep.
Right? With the ripped up suit.
And the raccoons and the tornadoes.
Exactly, right. They're trying to prove a point here. There's always an agent. So we're looking for a certain type. You guys ready? Celeste jumps in. I sell these policies. You guys do a great job explaining it. Okay, here's the type we're looking for. Okay. The type of person, maybe we'll just say that as an umbrella and a cursory statement because you need the agent, who is going to set up a whole life insurance policy for you. Remember, that's guaranteed to grow in cash flow for the rest of your whole life. Whole life insurance from a mutual insurance company that pays dividends. We got a little shot glass of dividends right here. We want an extra boost every single year from a long-term, A-rated, Comdex score in the 90s, baby. Whole life insurance, mutual company type of place. So each and every year, if and when there are profits, the dividends, profits go to
owners.
The owners who happen to be
us, the policy owners.
Boom. There are no stockholders. Jesse said it best. It goes to us. All right. We're the ones who got the policies. And then we're going to purposely design that with an intention to be able to utilize cash value from it for the use of using money, financing, banking. We're going to do that on purpose. You can't set that up from a website. All the websites look exactly the same. It doesn't matter. That's like asking, hey, is car insurance better at Geico or is it better at Progressive? What type of car you got? Where are you going? How much do you drive, right? Those things are all important. We're going to set that up custom for you right here at the Banking Bros, okay? So we don't get into on TikTok Lives the companies we use because that confuses way too many people too fast. They are not secret companies by any stretch. But depending on your height, weight, and how dumb or smart you are, and what state you live in, things like that, how much money you want to put in, we're going to choose 1 or 2 different companies for your best options when we have a free one-on-one consultation call. You can find the link to that right here at the Banking Bros. So we don't want to throw people off by mentioning company names that you can't even use because you got the neck, the back, the diabetes, and you live in New York State, and that's not a state that you can do this particular company in. Hopefully that's helpful. Okay, Jesse, got a question here. Can we do this in England? Okay, can we do this in the King's speech?
Right. I had a conversation the other day with somebody from England, so I'm always impressed to see the reach, right, of this conversation with
Isn't
people to privatize. So y'all have insurance companies, and on that point, you're trying to find the best match that you can for what we're describing. If you're not a U.S. citizen or have a business here in the U.S. where you'd have credentials where we could work with you, banking is a process. I would encourage you to check out the book that's called Becoming Your Own Banker. It's a good book to start with on the concept, to just learn about the process of privatizing your banking. Okay, so I would encourage that book. We've got tons of information on our channel, of course. And then you're just looking to do the best version of that you can. Even if you don't have a mutual life insurance company that's been around for 140 plus years, and paying dividends and stuff, you can still get the closest to that you can.
So, yes, we don't know that you can utilize the same type of whole life products in other countries outside of North America, U.S. and Canada, but it is a process. Jesse said that well. So you can try to do the process with some other guaranteed instruments that allow you liquidity or borrowing power against them. So listen up closely. But yes, if you can step foot in the new world over here, Plymouth Rock, right? Taxation without representation. Don't worry, they brought it back. They brought it back. All right. There ain't no representation on half this stuff.
That's its own conversation. Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
So what? So if you do have business interests here, or property here or something like that, we could still work with you even if you're not a citizen. Okay, here we go. Willow, what's up? No such thing as dividends from a mutual insurance company. Well, that's weird because I'm looking at paperwork that says there is.
I got notices on 3 of my policies this month.
Okay, so pretty sure I got them as well. Every policy I've gotten.
Just because you don't own them.
Yeah. Hey, you're welcome, James.
They don't exist.
Yeah, you're welcome, James. Ryan says, where is Blue Chip this year with Mass? Let's go. I don't know how to answer that question. I've never heard, I'm assuming you mean the company Mass and Blue Chip. I've never heard them in the same sentence specifically. I don't know. Give us more clarity on that. What do you mean by that? Afra Israel.
Or Mass like the rosary?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Nah,
Who knows?
I thought of Mass Mutual as well.
Right.
Just kidding.
Cash value sounds similar to a CD. How? Cash value is the liquid equity we have. I hope I'm not messing with you guys out there who can hear me. Sorry, I'm bumping this a lot. Cash value is the liquid equity we have, or equity we have that we can make liquid in whole life insurance.
They're completely different entities.
Yeah, I have no idea. CDs are fine. They're guaranteed.
Yeah.
I like that. They don't go down or backwards. CDs have to mature in the positive direction. But when they do, we are going to be taking the money we put in out or starting a new CD. We get to borrow against the pool of money we bought in whole life insurance. And our pool continues to compound like a CD, income tax free, unlike a CD. All right, Afra Israel, hopefully that's helpful for you.
That's where our ideal asset.
It's just the ideal asset.
Comes into play.
CDs are great because they're guaranteed to grow. Cash flow is something you'd have to borrow against that CD's value. I don't know how to do that, but you couldn't leverage it directly. You'd have to see if someone else would back it for you because you do have a guaranteed instrument. And number 2, you have to wait or borrow against. You have to wait to maturity. And then there's the tax thing. Okay, Blaze, what's up? Hey, I'm waiting to close this deal to get started again. Sorry I wasted your time the first time. Blaze, well, I'm glad you're back, baby. Okay, Jesse and I work with somebody right now who called us earlier in the year. This lady was in South Carolina where I actually live, and she couldn't get started at the time.
Life happens.
And just like you, Blaze, she hit us back 6-7 months later and said, hey, I'm ready to go. And I was like, who are you? What's going on? It took me a second. We had to find her. And I was like, oh, hey, so we got her going. So totally fine. So go ahead and get your affairs together. Hit us back. Get a free consultation right here in our Linktree link. And let's go. We're
We're
ready when you are.
It's fun to pick back up where you left off before the career change or the family change or whatever it was. Sometimes life happens. We get that.
But it does throw me off sometimes because people are like, we don't, Blaze, you're a name in here. I don't know what you look like. So people call and say, I'm ready. And like, who are you? Ready for what?
Right.
Oh, you're calling back. Or you did waste our time the first, we're glad you're back. Okay, cool. Ryan asked a good question, Jesse. Do you think they'll ever change how the tax withdraws? Now it's borrowing against, okay? Tax withdraw is not the right way to think about it, but you could say it. Okay, do you think they'll ever change how the tax withdraws from cash value?
Great question. The overarching thoughts that I have are is that, firstly, the future is unknown. So I can give you my feedback based on historical facts that we do have to date, right? Like the fact that these insurance companies that we would use that are mutual companies that pay dividends have the records that they do. They have provided these guaranteed death benefits, guaranteed cash values, dividends for well over 100 years. So that's longer than you've been alive and I've been alive combined. So there is a track record looking back that I think that means something about the best choice we can make today on where to warehouse our capital, where to put it and still have access to it, etc. Right? Also, while remembering that the future is unknown. Now, when you have this type of a private property, because that's what this type of a contract is, this type of a policy is, it's a piece of private property. It exists, right? And as long as there are laws that protect private property, it's the ideal asset. It's the best place that we know of, and we're personally practicing what we're preaching, to put money and where to deploy it from and where to grow and scale that, et cetera. So those are my big picture thoughts on it all.
Yeah, I'll say it a little bit differently is, and let's be reminded, for those of us who are in a whole life insurance policy contract, the law cannot change on what has already been in contract law. So I will never be taxed on anything that ever happens. The future is unknown and how the laws can change, because remember, the growth, the internal liquidity, the internal rate of return that you can get to inside your policies today, none of them can be taxed. It cannot happen. Contract law cannot be changed by the government on something we've already done. We'd be grandfathered in. I think everybody understands that.
Yeah.
If it ever changes, it's going to, they're going to, Congress is going to get worse. Half of y'all are voting in people who don't care. And the other half of you are like me and Jesse, are potentially voting in people who do care and don't know. So we do need to educate our own peers and our representatives on what this is. Okay. And crazy enough, I heard recently that one of the two senators from my state, South Carolina, used to sell life insurance. Tim Scott.
Incredible.
Used to sell it. So that's a great, like, hey, whatever they doing in other states, bro, let's keep it legit right here, right?
Here in our, so I got you.
Anyway, so it could potentially be taxed in the future. The government is likely to continue to try to make us think that getting more tax revenues from the pockets of working individuals and families is going to solve the cash crunch crisis that they have. It's not, because they outspend everything. There's no chance. However, they're going to keep making you think that around voting time. So you vote in the people who have the best human interest at heart. If America is the highest ideal in your mind and the government can execute that highest ideal, then everything that the government says you have to do and you have to think is morally and ethically accurate. I don't buy it at all. So that's my thought on some of that political theory out there.
Somebody was asking about how to get started. Definitely want to address that question. One big thing that we point out to folks, though, is that, again, these policies from these companies predate entities as big and as well known and as infamous as the IRS, too. Just food for thought.
Let's go. We got Tax-Free Mike in the building. Now, Jesse, I don't know if you've been able to chat with Tax-Free Mike. Good dude. Okay. And he's been on our podcast. We've done some things together here, and he's in the chat at least for a few minutes. So I love watching him. My man, Tax-Free Mike, he's got a lot of great stuff on his channel. Okay. So remember, we just talked about here at the Banking Bros, the tax implications or lack thereof that we have going on in life insurance, and Tax-Free Mike is named as Tax-Free. So you can watch him. Okay. He knows stuff. Okay. Let's go. Appreciate you, man. Okay. So, Ryan says, would the cash I loan out then be taxed as income? No. Not at all. If you borrow against life insurance, we're borrowing against, here's a simple way to put it, and it's non-technical. We don't get super technical on these lives. We'll help you do that one-on-one when we're walking through your numbers and your policy, and you can ask us lots of questions there. Remember, life insurance is an insurance product, and insurance replaces a loss. So there's no gain. It replaces a loss, no taxes, no income. God forbid you lose your car in some sort of insurance claim, which I just did. We kind of had a hurricane. Did I tell you about this?
We kind of had a hurricane.
Had a hurricane. We had a hurricane here. Category 3. I don't know what 4 and 5 are like, but yikes. Category 3 for 6 hours was nuts. And my car got flooded.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it didn't get flooded to the point of everyone calm down. It did not get to the point of flooding where it didn't work. It was just in water for, I don't even know, an hour or something like that. So water started to seep inside the car. It was in the floorboards, especially in the back seat, kind of, I guess, the way the driveway was tilted. So I got the car out of that area. It was a low-lying floodplain. And I put a claim out. Put a claim in. My brother said, you can get the money, and your car's kind of old. You can get the money, and then you don't have insurance on it anymore or whatever, but they'll pay you out. I said, based on some family circumstances, this may be a good time to do that. Let me just put in the claim, get the money. Well, if it's a flood, they take the car. You can't keep it. Okay, gotcha. So I didn't need repairs. I mean, I had to clean out my car, and it smelled like the gym, bad, because there was standing water in there for several hours, and it was flood water and creek water and stuff like that. So, gosh, it was in the car smelling it up for a week because nobody had power, so I couldn't even clean it out properly. So anyway, when they send the check to me, they picked up the car Friday, don't have the check yet. When they send the check, that's a replacement on a loss. No new taxes. Read my lips. You guys got it? Okay, so what we have here is replacement of a loss, no income. So if I borrow against something that's already not taxable, it's a loan, borrowing, non-taxable income. It's borrowing. IRS can't consider that income. We just have a debt somewhere. The debt is to my own system, my own policy, off of something that is also not taxable. All right, there we go. Hopefully that was helpful for you. And pray for us down here. Pray for us in North Carolina. Jesse lives in North Carolina, just beyond the border. And where he is in another hour above that, lots of chaos, lots of confusion, and lots of pain. Things are really wild in those communities right now. So anyway, that was Hurricane 1. I actually think it was the second one of the season around here, but then Milton hit Florida after that. Yikes. Okay. All right. Well, questions. Go ahead and put your questions back in the chat. We talk 1 minute or 5 minutes on the answers to some of your questions, and you can ask new ones anytime. But we have ready for you one-on-one cash consultations as well. We'd love to speak with you one-on-one so you can ask your own questions with no interference from other people after you've watched our video. We've got a save and spend presentation, and what we call that save and spend system is utilizing whole life insurance where you put your money, saving, and then you get their money to spend. The save and spend presentation is going to walk you through how to build a private bank where you can finance purchases from or pay off debt or pay those stupid taxes you do have to pay off of the insurance company's guaranteed contract money for you, with you. They're going to facilitate the deal for you for the rest of your life, and you now have liquid cash to use. Save your money, spend theirs. All right, let's go. Okay, Vicious, how long does it take to break even with the deposits and cash value? It's a terrible question that everybody wants to ask all the time. Let me tell you why it's terrible, and we love you for asking it. So don't think you're terrible.
Yep.
It's a terrible question because a bank would never take in deposits from you for 4 to 6 years before lending it out to you and your neighbors on credit cards, cars, and companies. They would never do that. Break even is not what banks do. Break even is what people do who think this was an investment. You may not be that person, but you're asking a question like it is. This is not a depository where we break even. It's a pool of resources that we can immediately use way before break even, and we now have a banking system. Because I don't think you're going to go hungry for 4 to 6 years. I don't think you're going to not pay taxes for 46 years. Banks take in dollars, OPM, from you and me working hard. Conventional banks get deposits, and they loan them out by lunch. They loan them out by lunch. There is no break-even thing they're waiting for. Their bank is going to use OPM, other people's money, the depositors, to lend back to those same depositors, collect it with principal and interest, and make profit. If you want to break even, wait around. I'm going to be a bank and make profit starting today. Good question in a bad way. Bad question, good way, good person. You know, you got to think the way you think of it. Okay, cool. Okay. So when will the resources, Victorious? Is it Victorious? Yeah. Jesse, you take the second question from Victorious. Okay. So when will the resources have available match the premiums that have paid? Is that better? Banks do not ask that question. They lend out the bank cost $20 million to build on the corner. You deposited on Friday. I had to take it, Jesse. The bank cost $20 million to build on the corner. You deposited your paycheck in there for $1,000. They lend it out.
They didn't break even on.
They didn't break even. It cost them $20 million to build the bank. They lend out your deposit immediately so they could break even faster. We got $20 million to recover. You got it? Okay. They're going to use your money to make money off of. So hopefully that's helpful for you. And now we'll get serious. Let me answer your question. It depends on how the policy is built. If you don't want to be a bank and you don't plan to be a bank and you don't use the money to be a bank, it might take you 4 to 6 years. Sure. But I want to be a bank.
I use an analogy sometimes. You can let us know if that's helpful too. So imagine you put on a business hat, right? You put on a business hat and just do this mental exercise. Let's say that you could procure for yourself a vending machine. And this vending machine lets you put in $1. And when you put in that $1, you're guaranteed, I'm throwing out a number, could be higher, could be lower. We custom do stuff around here, but let's just say it started out at, say, 60%, right? So you put in your $1 and guaranteed you can have access or leverage 60% of what you paid in year 1. And you knew that by year 2, it's going to be more than that. Year 3, more than that. 4, more than that, more than. And you knew that you would get to a point, guaranteed, right? And it's a tax-free environment that you're operating in also. Huge deal. And there are lots of other factors there, but we're just talking numbers here because that's what you're talking. You knew, guaranteed, with this business, okay, that you were going to get to have access to more capital for the whole rest of your life than you had input or outlay into that vending machine, into that business. Well, banking is a business, like J.D. was describing. It's a business, right, of capitalizing somewhere, deploying that, et cetera, growing that, scaling that, expanding that. So, but on autopilot, if you knew that on autopilot, that's what the vending machine business was going to do, guaranteed, and then how you used capital from that vending machine to become even more exponentially profitable could be added on top of that. How profitable do you want to be? Because banks are definitely very profitable.
There we go. Okay. So we don't hate your question, but we're going to pick on it a little bit. It's easy to pick on it when it's 2-on-1 because we can't hear you and you can only put in a certain amount of characters. But banking is a business and a process. Break even is not the goal of a business. It's not the goal of the business. So why are you asking us that? Yeah. So think about the way you're asking it and think about what you're talking about. If you want to break even, then you don't want to be in. That's not why you get in business. That's not. Why would you ask me that? Do you understand what we're doing here? Day 1 of deploying capital into our business is the first day I try to go get customers. Right? Okay.
Yeah. And again, we're not trying to pick on anybody, but that type of thinking too, if you can detach enough to recognize it, it's a short way of thinking. It's a short-term thought to ask. I'm not saying it's not valid. It's a valid question to ask, and we get that. But how long are you going to live the rest of your life? How long for the rest of your life are you going to use money? Well, all of it. Okay. So if you just knew, again, guaranteed, if you just knew that in the right environment, you could experience a constant upward growth trend of capital for your whole lifetime, when would you want that to start?
Love it. Okay, very good. So, question out here or comment from my man Jake. Jake just got his second policy. His family got his second policy approved. It took a couple. I told people 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months to get the approval done, depending on your health, depending on the money you want to put in, depending on if it's a business owned or corporate owned life insurance policy.
How quick your doctor's office gets back to the insurance company.
Yeah, all sorts. If your doctor waits all 30 days to answer some sort of underwriting question, we just sitting around waiting, right, Jake? Now you know. But for the rest of your whole life, or if you got a different type of product that has a term on it or something like that, for the rest of that time, you got a guaranteed contract. Unilateral, meaning the insurance company's got to make good on the deal. Mm-hmm. You just need to stay alive. Okay. All right. User 754. It's almost like you're describing a low-cost VOO index fund. Continued. Constantly going up and growing. Don't need to wait 6 years to break even. Breaking even is not a business term. We're going to have to move off of that in terms of the way we speak, because we're going to use a banking system to start to go finance things we have to buy anyway, or we're in debt to, and for our investment opportunities where we also don't want to break even. When do you break even on your investments? No one asks that question because that's not the point or the goal.
Where are the guarantees with an index is what I want to know.
All right. Wisdom, what's up? I was told that we have to deposit a certain percentage of your age. Does that work? We try to help people understand that life insurance has a bunch of components in it, and your life and my life have years on them. We have health on them, and those things are factors. Okay, so wisdom. Let me ask you a question here, and if it's helpful, answer the question. If not, you can just keep trying to dig a hole and get us to answer your question. But if you could build a banking system where I'm going to give you another analogy. Love the vending machine one. I've used it. Let me do this one. Dollars that come into your life. I don't know if it's $5 an hour, $500 a day. But the dollars that come into your life, let's say that you had a plant or a hole, a seedling or whatever in the backyard. You could just put them in the ground in the backyard of your house, and the dollars grew trees in the front yard. And that tree had money on it, more money all the time. It got bigger and better. As long as you put your dollars in the backyard, it grew a tree. Money's growing on a tree in the front yard. You put it in, you immediately get a trunk, and you got a death benefit. You got a solid, sturdy thing. Your family's going to have that in the future. It's going to pay out to them. But the more you live, the longer you live, the more money you put in that backyard in the hole, it's going to grow more leaves on the front. Okay, it's the goose that lays the golden egg. You guys understand? It's the genie that actually grants more wishes. The question is, how much money, wisdom, do you want to put of the money you make? I don't know how much you make, $5 an hour, $500 a day. How much of the money that you make do you think you should put in the backyard? And Jesse asked it really well. When do you think you should start doing it?
How many of those trees would you like?
How many of those trees would you like in the front yard? Now, you can go pick dollars off of those trees for the rest of your life to pay taxes, to go to Disney World, to pay for your kids' education.
Good answer.
There you go, wisdom. Okay, so let's be clear. You pick the amount. It doesn't matter to me. Life insurance is going to need a threshold because that's what we're using as the vehicle.
But it also won't be all of it either from the start.
Yeah, but you pick the number. It's a consistent number in whole life insurance. It does not go up in terms of cost. It does not rise in fees. There are all fixed costs in that bad boy, and it grows that tree in the front. Okay? All right. All right. Some of you, of course, get your comments kind of hidden. I say that from time to time. It's not me. The system hides people's comments, and nobody can figure out why. Okay.
It's the Wild Wild West. You tell me often. The Wild Wild West.
All right, Mike says, so I put my whole paycheck in the insurance policy. You pick the premiums. I don't know if it's your whole paycheck or not. You pick the premiums. You have life insurance right now. You have car insurance right now. You have phone insurance right now. Pick the premium. It will buy death benefit for you. You pick it. Somebody put a number in the chat. Somebody put a number in the chat. I'll help everybody who's unclear or just needs a number to help them out here. What number? That number will not change. 400. That number will not change. That number will be consistent. for the rest of your whole life. If you put $400 inside this cup, premium, $500, it doesn't matter. I love it. Appreciate you guys. Now, I'm 40 years old. How old are you? Put that in the chat, because I think that's what Wisdom may have done. I don't know. 61? Okay. Jesse, how old are you?
39.
40 right here. Okay. 61, 30 years old. DJ's 30. Cool. 27. Got it. 37. Okay. We all put $500 inside premium of life insurance. That's the cost. You chose it. We picked it. That's the premium. That's the fee. That's the cost, right? We're going to give that up to the insurance company. Well, what do we get? Do we get gas? Do we get groceries? No, we get a life insurance contract, a promise, peace of mind, payout, pool of cash, lots of dollars on this policy. Protection, we get that from them. Now, who got the most protection if we all put $500 in here? That's the question. All right, who's going to get that one right? Who got the most protection, the most promise, the most payout? We all put the same amount of money over here. This may help some people think through this. We chose the number. The cost won't change next month. It won't change next year. When we're 105 years old, it'll still be the amount we chose.
Nobody's jumping in first. Who
gets the most death benefit? We all gave them the same amount of money. Wisdom is lost. We do. Is the answer. So Wisdom is lost. Okay.
If all these people with all these different ages paid the same amount of premium, who gets the biggest death benefit?
Who gets the biggest death benefit? All right, there we go. Okay.
Younger, healthier.
Yes. Okay. Whoever's the youngest, healthiest woman. All right. That's one of the discriminatory factors. Whoever is the youngest, healthiest woman gets the most death benefit. Y'all are lost. Most of you are lost by your answers. I'm not saying that.
Somebody just say wife.
Yeah. Your wife gets the death benefit. Yes. But who gets the most death benefit is what I meant in terms of the money, the amount of money we bought. You guys understand? Premium buys death benefit. Okay, the youngest, healthiest woman is going to get the biggest death benefit. We all put in the same amount of money. Now, what we're going to do and what we're talking about in building this banking system is leveraging the liquid available cash. Cash value is a custom setup day one where there will be borrowing power of liquid dollars we can leverage from this policy. Our dollars are still here. Our premiums are still here. They're still growing. And they're still cash flowing. Our dollars did not get withdrawn. You guys understand now? Right. Somebody put an O in the chat. Oh, we're all going to get death benefit from that. It won't change. It doesn't go down or backward. We can't lose it. There's no investment. We bought a bunch of money. Whoever's youngest, healthiest, and the most female is going to get the biggest pool. Cash value is just how much we can get to. Well, it doesn't matter if I'm young, female, or healthy. $10 is $10.
That's what I was going to jump in and say. If we're all picking this number and it's generating this death benefit for us or our loved ones, that doesn't mean that this isn't the same for everybody. We build these systems to have a significant amount of cash value from the start that we can all be using regardless of age.
There we go. Great questions out there. Let's go. Mike says you don't have to pay back the cash value you take out. You don't have to. I suggest that you would throughout utilizing this as a banking system, but you do not have to. That is correct, Mike. You get to be your own banker in this situation. You get to decide. You can do whatever you want. And the reason for that, Mike, is because they owe you money, not the other way around. You can die. Let's borrow all this money out. Mike, what are we going to buy? Put in the chat, everybody, what are we going to buy or pay for or finance utilizing our policy?
Everybody on YouTube's chiming in too. Thank you, Felicia.
Let's go.
Jake, everybody.
Yes. Yes.
Good answers.
Yes, they knew. The YouTube people always know more than TikTok because TikTok's randomized, and YouTube people, they've been expecting this. They've been looking at videos, long form.
I love it.
Okay, investment properties. All right, we're going to take out how much money we got here? 20, 30, 45. We got $45,000 for investment property stuff. Okay, we're going to borrow against our policy. We got $45,000 in my random scenario here to leverage. We're going to pay off bills at Wisdom's house. Exactly. We're going to get out of debt. We're going to do whatever. And then we die. We literally borrowed against our policy value, but where did the money come from? Remember, this pool of funds was leveraged against the amount they owe you. Do you have to pay it back? No. They owe you money. They'll give your family the rest. You see how easy that is to think about? Mike says, but eventually, would you have to? No. They give your family the rest. Does that make sense, Mike? It's automatically paid off when they pay out the big death benefit because you took some of it early, okay? It's just the net equity we got to, some of it we got to, and hopefully your family has investment property and the rest of the death benefit, right? Did you set up your investment portfolio good so your family still gets that income or that house? I hope you did. Great stuff out there. Good questions, good scenarios. Victoria says, so it takes 4 to 6 years for the cash value to match the total paid premiums. No, we didn't say that. You did. You keep saying it, but no, we did not say that. It's custom, so it doesn't have to be that time. It can be longer if you don't put any honey on it. What I mean by that, if it's not customized for cash value, it's probably going to take you 15 years. It depends on a lot of things. Okay, you remember it doesn't have to be customized at all. So how did we customize it? From what company did we customize it? What do they have in guarantees and dividend projections if we never used it, which we're also not suggesting, right? So you with us, Victorious? All right. So.
And that's why the cash consultations are so important. So we can become familiar with your goals, your plans. You can have a conversation with us about what you're wanting to fund into your system, all this different stuff.
What's up, Detro? Been paying $500 a month through BB. I don't know what BB means. And One America, great company, for about 11 months now would be able to take a loan. Of course, you could take a loan. If we set up the policy that you could have taken a loan in the first Banking Bros. Okay, I wasn't sure if that's what you meant. Okay. Yeah, so there was cash value 11 months ago, Detro. There was a cash value within the first 30 days. If we designed your policy for cash, it's there, baby. So we got you. I'm going to follow you because you're working with us. Love it. Victor says, I've had my IUL for 4 years, Jesse. Can't borrow yet. Comment.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you guys realize if you're just coming in here, go ahead and follow us here at the Banking Bros.
It really is bad.
Okay, an index universal life insurance contract is a different type of contract. We do not promote those here or use those for this banking idea. We don't use those for several reasons, including the one maybe that you have. There isn't liquid cash value there. The guarantees are way different over there, and some of those guarantees go away over time. We don't want those.
Yeah, if that's what it looks like in the beginning, it doesn't look better in the future. Detro,
it sounds like you need to get on our calendar to get a loan or to understand your policy. Every day, there's more and more cash value that you could leverage and borrow against for your bills, for your vacations, for Christmas that's coming up. We built you a policy like that. You need a free re-up with us so we can show you. Yeah, we're happy to show you. Happy to show you. DM me. You're already in our system. DM me. If it wasn't me that started you, I'll send you to the right coach. And yeah, we've also got a Facebook community. That's another good resource to be able to connect with us, ask questions. Hey, I've been paying premiums in my policy for the past 11 months. What are y'all doing? People are sharing what they're doing. They're asking questions. It's another great resource. Yeah, Infinite Bankers. Great stuff, Jesse. Infinite Bankers on Facebook. If you like that type of community with conversations at the ready, because you can put in anything, join us over there. You do need to put in your credential information to make sure we're not going to be letting in people who are not going to help the community or conversation, but Infinite Bankers. Follow us right here at the Banking Bros channel and double tap on the screen if you like, love, or learn something, ladies and gents. We're here to help. We're here to help. Okay, Mike says, what's the interest on the cash you take out? Great question. It doesn't vary really, but it's probably around 5%. We borrow against these dollars that they owe us. There will be an annual amortized interest number based on what's still outstanding at the time, because you might be putting stuff back in. Mm-hmm. And that is around 5%, maybe 5.5%. Depends on the company, depends on all sorts of things. Yep, there. And our client Jake on YouTube would say, like he put in the comments, just make sure to pay back interest too. And when you do borrow from your policy and you are paying back, we do always encourage that you pay back a market rate. So if you'd have borrowed money from a bank, if you'd have borrowed money from a third party, what would that charge would have been like? It's probably only going to be something like that 5% to the insurance company. But if you gave a real market value
to the capital that you used from your system. Let's say you want to pay back another 5%. Well, where does that go? That could be additional premium into your policy. And all that does, of course, is because you put more money in cup 1, cup 3 goes up, cup 2 goes up. You grow and scale your system that way. Faster, quicker, sooner, better.
All right. Okay, Victor says, I'm going through Lafayette Insurance. Great company. Wonderful. Make sure you understand how to be a good banker, because everybody here wants to talk about the companies. It's not the company that's going to do it for you. You get to be the banker. So there's certain parameters we want the policy to be set up around and inside of, for sure. But it's not just the company. All right. All right. How about New York Life? Okay. As you were typing that, I was answering the question. As you were typing it's not the company.
Yep. If it's a mutual life insurance company.
Okay, mutual life insurance company, pays dividends. It can be done. It can be done, okay? But it's set up, it's set up custom, and you got to know what's going on. Okay, we're going to go for another 5+ minutes or so. Ask your questions now and get a video straight to you, okay? Victor says, tired of the bank loans, wants to be his own bank. Victor, that's what we're here for, baby. It's the same thing as us. Yep. We're doing this process, and you can talk to Jesse or myself directly, and we'll get one-on-one to help you do that. It's a free consultation. We got a video for you first. Click that link in the bio for the opportunity to watch it for free and then to get on our calendar so we can talk about it, so we can help you. We'd love to set it up for you. Okay, I'm ready to need my consultation. Let's go, baby. Yep. We got you. Love it. We have several people on the YouTube channel who also at the Cash Compound have started this process, and I've charged about $0.00 so far to everybody who's wanted to talk.
Right.
All right, free 99, everybody. We'd love to help. If you're serious about doing this, watch the video and then just pick a time. Ask all your questions. Talk to somebody today who was in Florida. 37 years old. He was a tree man. Maybe he's busy right now.
Probably.
One of those tree men, got 3 kids and a family, and was ready to go. He watched the video, said, look, I got questions. I got questions about this, that, and the third. We talked for 30 minutes, and he was like, I know my premium number. I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to keep out of the dollars that come into my life right now. It's not a huge number compared to what I make. It's just what I can afford to keep today, AKA save. You guys have always heard it as save. I've heard it as save. But I want to pay myself first that amount of money. The rest of it's going to all these kids. You know what I'm saying? Expensive,
I get it.
Right?
I get it.
All right. What's up, Big Mac? Would that be the same thing as a trust fund? A trust fund is really the wrapper over some sort. It's kind of like saying a 401k. Or an IRA or a retirement plan. There could be lots of different ways it was built. Lots of different things inside the trust fund. Does that make sense?
Inside it.
If you're asking that question, you probably have a pretty elementary understanding that that's the wrapper, and we could put, if I'm dying and I have a garage full of cars, Jay Leno style, and give that classic car collection to my kids, you could call it a trust fund. Because there's value there. They could trade. You see what I'm saying? What is it? I can name the garage trust fund, and inside of it, there's value. So, that's just the wrapper. So my kids have a trust fund, and it's life insurance directly. I didn't have to build another entity. I don't have to call, because it's coming to them, and it's going to be liquid cash. It's going to be guaranteed, income tax free. They have a trust fund. So think of the trust fund as a generic term.
Yeah, they either inherit the death benefit payout or policies that are on them, or both, right? And people do ask us, of course, hey, can I put my trust down as the beneficiary instead of someone directly? So those are all options that you have. You can make a direct individual the beneficiary. You can make a trust the beneficiary. You could mix and match that.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good question there. All right. Which video? Okay, Victor, if you're looking for our regular video, what you want to do is click the Banking Bros and go to our regular TikTok profile. There's no links here, and you need to find that link. Click here, go to our regular TikTok profile. If you do so, you can hear us, but you can't see us while we're live. Okay, so if you click right now and go there, one link to rule them all right there in the middle. That Linktree link, click it, and then it'll pop up and say, you're leaving the site or something, but it'll pop up and say, hey, watch the video. It's right there. Just click that and throw your email in, and then the calendar pops up, and pick a time. Hopefully that's helpful. All right, we spitting game for you this afternoon. If you thought you were we were valuable today, you were valuable. You are. And here's how much you value yourself when it comes to this system. Go ahead and put that in this share right there.
Hey,
Okay.
there's something to that. There's
What's
something. Well, you were probably asked a similar question, like when it came to premium.
Oh, yeah,
Years ago
that's
when
how
we
we
were
were
exposed to this
asked. That's
idea.
how we were
That's
asked.
how we were asked, right? It's like,
How much?
what do you want to pay?
What do you
yourself?
value? Yeah. What do you want to pay yourself?
How much are you worth per hour?
Yeah, there you go. So I come up with my number at that time, and I was like, "Is that it?" Right? That's what I thought. I was like, "That's the best I could do." I was like, "That's how much I think I'm worth. Everything else is going to leave my family. This is how much I'm going to keep."
But you could also say now though that it would have been easy to underestimate what that could mean over a long period of time, like a decade
sure.
two of being our own bankers. At that time, you're thinking, "My goodness,
That's it?
Is that
That's
it?
all I can keep?
I'm just worth $5 an hour, $10 an hour, $2.50 an hour, or whatever it is." But
I hope it was $5 an hour. When I think of the annual premium it ended up being, I don't know, but we're all paying more premium now. We're we're paying ourselves first. We're building a system. We're leveraging dollars that we can keep, and then they're doing other jobs for us now. We love it.
You got to start it.
You got to get started. Okay, appreciate you guys being here. Anything else from our YouTube community out there? Once again,
These guys aren't asking questions. They're just chiming in and giving their answers, and
love it.
they're educated. I love it.
Remember, everybody, very soon we're going to change up maybe the time, the day, something about these Thursday afternoon 3:30 live events are going to change. So be ready for that in about 2-3 weeks when we figure it out. Okay. Victor says, "Can I open a policy for my kids?" Of course. Did you?
All three of them.
4 in this house, yes, with more premium too. Yeah, that's a separate policy. So yeah, I'm building branches of my banking system on everybody.
And then there'll be a second string and a third string, and
Got to keep it.
grow and scale.
Got to keep them separated. Yeah, we're going to keep doing it. Okay. So the dollars that come into my family and our life, we're going to keep them. They got to go in life insurance contracts around here. We're going to build the family banking system by adding more policies on more people, or the same people getting multiple policies on them. It ain't going to stop. Infinite is a great word to use in that sense. Let's go. Yes. Remember, the book that we're talking about explains the entire concept. Becoming Your Own Banker, 5th edition, is the book, and you can see that somewhere behind door number 1 as well. So if you go to Amazon, feel free to do that. Becoming Your Own Banker by Robert R. Nelson Nash. Okay. All right. Appreciate you guys sharing out there and joining us here today. We're going to cut and run, everybody, but we've got lots of resources for you. And the call to action today, outside of, hey, watch the video. If you need to watch that full length thing, do it twice. Is join us on our Facebook page. Yeah. Okay. We got that group called Infinite Bankers. Look us up, answer the questions. Email, discount code, let us know, hey, I'm thinking about this, and I might want to join you guys in the conversation on Facebook. You know, no obligations there. Just jump inside, and we'll keep the party rolling in there. Appreciate you guys. Okay? Peace. We're going to go.
So did you just restart the YouTube? Is that what fixed the audio there?
It was muted.
Okay. I didn't know how to do that. See y'all.
Potentiometer.